All right, how you doing? Yes. I'm gonna talk about the Robyn Crawford and Whitney Houston scandal, the drama. So allegedly, Whitney Houston was in a lesbian relationship with this friend of hers named Robyn Crawford, and she just came out with a book discussing detail, and she said it ended right when she signed records with Arista Records with Clyde Davis. Now a lot of people will be shocked because Clyde Davis, like after Whitney passed away, admitted that he was bisexual. But the point is that back in the '80s, it was a lot of homophobia on both ends. There wasn't no "I kissed a girl" moment, okay, and until like Madonna came out with "Just for My Love" in 1990, okay, and you had Melissa Etheridge and Katie Lane come out. So it wasn't, the industry and the culture was not open to gay, lesbian, bisexual people or transgender. Um, it was during the AIDS scare of the '80s, and then too, Whitney Houston's family was Baptist. They were very, I don't know how can you describe it. I would say that Sissy, probably her generation, were more conservative Baptist family, but I guess the younger generation were more liberal. But Whitney um, come from a Baptist family. She went to Catholic school, and I don't know what religion Rob was, but she was Catholic, Protestant, or whatever. But anyway, you have to understand, even though in New Jersey, where it was located and probably more liberal compared to the South here in Houston, it still was frowned upon. Two women or two men going together was frowned upon back in those days. Okay, this is the '70s. Okay, because when Houston was born '63, so Sissy, her mother, who sang backup for Elvis Presley, and her cousin Dion, and also I think she's the cousin Dion. Yeah, no, Dion. No, actually, that's her niece because Dion's parent is like Sissy's oldest sibling. That's how they happen. Even though Dion and Sissy about like the same age, that is Sissy's oldest relative, oldest sibling, who had Dion around when their parents had Sissy. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it's the oldest child, probably teenage years or whatever. Well, I think she's sitting back up from Dion. She's sitting back up for Aretha Franklin. So she also kept, was in the church. She married John Houston. The only two biological kids from John Houston, the real light skinned man, is Whitney and Michael. The dark skinned man, Gary Houston, he's adopted by John Houston. There was Whitney Houston's oldest brother. That's the one who dark skinned married to Pat Houston. He's not Houston by blood. He's Houston by adoption. Okay, so her previous marriage, that's her previous relationship. Number Sissy, when she was in the industry, I guess that's what brought Gary in. But then later on, she married John Houston, which is Michael came in, who's more caramel complected like Whitney. He was more lighter complected than Whitney, not too light, you know what I mean? But compared to Gary, and that's when Whitney Houston was the youngest one. So she was the only girl. Prior to because I don't know if John had other children. Okay, you never know these days. Okay, I know Cece only had three, to my knowledge. So they grew up in and they was in church. So that's the reason why folks understand in the conservative Baptist religion and culture, that type of stuff is not tolerated, like lesbianism or even gay men or whatever, okay? And even to this day. So Sissy comes from that generation back in the day that believes in that. And so this is, I guess, Whitney Houston was in the '70s, and you had the sexual revolution when they had the pill and abortion and disco music with the what's it called? What do you call it thing? Say 54. And you had, gay, lesbian and bisexual, transgender, but at the time it wasn't as big. It's that it still was frowned upon. You know, we had Liberace covered to years till he died of AIDS. You know about his situation, and you had other celebrities who covered that. It was like you had to live straight in the industry. So that's why Whitney Houston mama and her dad and the family that grew up in church and the culture was different compared to today. It's not like Katy Perry, I Kissed the Girl, Madonna, Justice for My Love, and Rihanna and Shakira situation. This is totally different. This is way deep, okay? And I'm 40 years old, so I remember those days, okay? And then it really was homophobic in the 80s because they blame gay men for HIV and AIDS in the 80s prior to the 70s when it was Indian disco. So that's this Reagan days, conservative Reagan days. So you have to understand that in family values and Republican, you have to understand if Whitney Houston came out then, she would never won records. This is, that's why Madonna wasn't thought into the 90s, okay? It makes a lot of sense, right? Because Madonna came out with that Just My Love in 1990. I was in 5th grade when it happened, when she made out with that woman from England, which is Seal's ex-girlfriend. Y'all know Seal, okay? He Nigerian, Brazilian. Okay, that's his ex-girlfriend that was playing the stud chick in Madonna's Just For My Love video. Okay, so understand, that's why that y'all shocking to hear this. Those who are young, okay, you wasn't born in the 80s or 70s like me, you don't know, okay? So the 90s is when they start to liberate this, okay? So, point is, Whitney Houston's friend is now, Robyn Crawford's now written a book, and there was rumors, even I was kind of hearing that she was a lesbian or bisexual, and I was always saying no because I hate rumors like that. But now we see factual truth and it's coming out. And so this is one thing I don't like. People don't catch up with their facts. They're shocked that Eddie Murphy was dating Whitney Houston. You know, I'm not shocked because I'm very big into the industry. When Arsenio Hall was big, Whitney Houston and Eddie Murphy would come there and visit. That's when Whitney Houston made fun of Milli Vanilli. Everyone knew Eddie Murphy and Whitney Houston were dating. Everyone know that Jermaine Jackson, who was also her first album, Michael Jackson's brother, dated Whitney Houston. Rumor has that Michael and Whitney did one time date, because one thing, Michael Jackson kept his relationship secret, okay? He's a Virgo. A lot of Virgos do that, okay? So that's the whole reason why that, Whitney, so everybody knew. I was shocked to hear about Bobby Brown and her. But it's weird that Bobby Brown was her when she met with Bobby Brown back in '89 when they booed her for calling her sellout back on the Social Music Awards back 30 years ago. It's weird they was dating because everyone knew that Eddie Murphy and Whitney was dating at the time, and Milli Vanilli, he got exposed for lip syncing when I was in 5th grade in 1990. So I don't remember those days, you know what I'm saying? And I remember Whitney Houston making fun of Milli Vanilli. And Milli Vanilli up here, you gotta sing like I do, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, on Arsenio Hall show. So I don't see how that people were shocked about that. But Robyn Crawford mentioned that in the book that Eddie Murphy was telling Whitney this bad choice to marry Bobby. So that wasn't shocked because I was shocked to find out Bobby and Whitney was dating when we all saw Eddie Murphy at the Arsenio Hall show. Also, this also was weird too. People keep saying that Gary Houston, the dark-skinned brother, gave Whitney Houston drugs. No. The one who made her complexion, that's Michael Houston, he revealed on Oprah. So please keep your story straight. And that's both of them gave them drugs. It makes sense. But she said that, Sissy said that on Oprah that Whitney, she discovered she had found drugs on her when Robyn admitted they was doing drugs together. Okay, because people don't keep I keep a lot of this information. Okay, this just happened when Houston had died. And I remember over interviewing Sissy. So, anyway, I just wish people could stop twisting stories around. Because here on YouTube, it's like, y'all aren't getting y'all stories straight. Okay, so I heard rumors about it. I always did doubt it because I don't like people spreading rumors about sexuality like that unless they have facts in it, you know. But Bobby Brown many times did admit that Whitney Houston was bisexual. And even in that movie, but being Bobby Brown, he kicked her out, which I had to laugh. Hello? Oh, I kick. I have to agree with that. I mean, he married her. She's out the relationship. This ain't unless there was some three-way going in. That's on his fault because you don't invite nobody in your bedroom when you're married. Okay. Um, she should not be seen Whitney. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You know, if it was Eddie Murphy, he shouldn't be seeing Whitney. Okay. She said I do to by Brown, so leave that marriage alone. Let other people to go forward, right? Everybody was offended because she's a woman. Don't matter if it was a man, okay? And if it was Whitney Houston was straight and Bob Brown was bisexual and said she had to confront a man and got this woman to kick him out, so that's her husband. That's, hey, when they say I do, that's bye, go find somebody else, okay? You don't mess with someone's marriage, okay? What your gender is, you know, so that's what I wanted everybody to understand. So in Bob Brown, in the movie being around, it does show that they were going together. Okay, or what they indicated could something was going on. But this is people are saying that Robyn is trying to get clout, and she's being selfish. I don't think so. I think that the reason why that she's bringing this up because her name is brought up a lot. Sissy brought it up in her book how she didn't trust Robyn, she didn't like Robyn or Bobby, okay? I have to debunk the story about y'all saying that Sissy told Whitney to marry Bobby to cover. That is not true. Once again, she was dating Eddie Murphy at the time, and Bobby Brown came in when Whitney was being booed. And I do believe that Whitney herself married Bobby because people was calling her a sellout for being the pop charts, okay, with that racial thing, okay? So, and Bob Brown was like the good looking, not to sound gay or anything, but like the good looking, pretty boy, dark skinned thug, okay, that was getting all the girls, you know, from New Addiction, okay? So, that's where that came from, okay? And I think she was trying to bind to stereotypes so people would not. But let me reveal some tea on Whitney. A lot of folks don't realize. When her cousin Dionne Ward says she's a problem child, that's very true. Because somebody I know who used to do my hair, I don't mean tell their business, who's from New Jersey, and they told me when I was in El Paso that Whitney was like a gangster, you know, in the 80s. And I had to agree. I think she was. I mean, I love Whitney. Whitney was my second love. I failed the first grade to Whitney Houston. I posted 97, 98. But when you hear about the Bobby Brown thing, I kind of think that you hear she was from the suburbs, and some people of color, those African descent, even though her background, to my knowledge, was black, Native American, and Danish and Scottish, which is Sissy revealed on one interview about her mixed background. And this rumor has that her light-skinned dad was mixed with Italian, although she did mention on Oprah there was Italians in her family. She had pasta back in '99. Because none of us are pure. I don't go along with that pure black nonsense. Okay, with none of us on that one drop mix. But by her being seen as to be the black Barbie doll, okay, to America, you know, white America, whatever, she had two personalities, and you couldn't show that other personality in the public. She had to be poised. And the reason why I kind of agree that somebody told me that she was like a gangster in New Jersey is because she did a song, like a We Are the World type song with Nancy Reagan. And it's weird that she was involved with cocaine at the time. And she did a song, and it was like a Just Say No Drugs, We Are the World thing. But then also, guess what, y'all? We know that Nancy Reagan was bringing drugs, her husband, to the hood, okay, in the body. Let's be real, okay, in Bush, okay, CIA, okay. So it's weird that they talk about that. But that's why I look at that situation. But I love Whitney, okay. I don't want to try to put it, but I kind of believe that. And so Whitney lot. That's so supposed to understand. Back in the day, you could not show your negative side. Today, a celebrity is on the negative, it gets put on Twitter, to get clout, whatever. Okay, but you have to be the good girl. Okay, in the '80s, like I said, I'm not shocked about Madonna being thottish in the '80s and keeping undercover and marrying Sean Penn. You know what I'm saying? Because that was like the real her when they came out. We always thought she was a good girl. Mm-mm. When she came out with Just for My Love and Vogue, and she doing the Blonde Ambition tour and being more sexual, and before the sex book come out, that was the real Madonna that we didn't see. Okay, that the industry covered up. Okay, and I do believe that. Okay, so same thing with Whitney. That was the real Whitney that we did not see because they couldn't sell. Okay, it's same thing with American Idol. If you American Idol, they find any criminal records on American Idol, contestants, they get them off. Ex Carrie, Corey Clark. Remember Corey Clark with Paula Abdul situation? Okay, and Frenchie Davis. Okay, so that's all y'all know about that. Yeah, it's just a lot of people don't do their research like I do. You have to be like perfect, clean, perfect, be American Idol. Okay, nothing blemished. So anyway, but do I think that Miss Crawford is just getting clout? No, she's tired of her name being out there and her image looking terrible from the Sissy book. Sissy Houston's book, excuse me, and what's the other person's name? Barry Brown and the media, and how they painted her. So she wanted to spill her truth to clarify why it's going on. So that's why I have to agree with y'all. I agree with Robyn Crawford. I don't think this is clout. I think this is to tell the truth and do it change how I feel about Whitney? No, I'm gonna always love Whitney. Okay, whether she was bisexual, straight, whatever, I always love her. Okay, the only person can judge Whitney and anyone else is God, and none of us is God. So I just want y'all to understand that. Okay. But that back in them days, they were very homophobic. I mean, I remember the Rolaids, a gay person riding rollerblades with roll A's, jokes and stuff like that. And people, if you had HIV or AIDS back in the days, you couldn't go to a school. Remember the little Caucasian guy that Michael Jackson helped out that died of AIDS back in '89? Michael Jackson reached out to him. That they couldn't let that boy go to school. That's how terrible it was back in the '80s. You had AIDS, you could not go to school. People protested you out. I mean, it was terrible in the '80s. Don't forget, you was seen as gay, a bi, lesbian. You got made fun of. That it was very homophobic in the '80s. So it's not just the industry, the culture was. And this is during after, you know, the sexual revolution in the '70s, and Jimmy Carter was president when I was born in '79. So it was Reagan, and Reagan was, anomics and the right wing conservative, and Jerry Falwell with in the Liberty Baptist Church, and Paul Robertson. It was that culture, and it was a culture with also a lot of evangelists like the Bakers, Tammy and Jimmy Baker, taking money, from people, and even Jim Baker was bisexual. They revealed that too, and you had Jimmy Swagger taking money and sleeping with prostitutes and being anti-Catholic and everything else. There was back in those days when you had the evangelists, the Benny Hinn's. I remember those days. Okay, it was very big, and this was during the Bush and Reagan days. Okay, the crack epidemic was big at the time. Hip hop was hip hop then too. Let's be real, okay? Um, it wasn't like it is today. And like I said, someone who's born '79, I witnessed this. Look at, you could not be bisexual, gay, or lesbian in the industry. So that was into the '90s and late on 2000s. Okay, so that's why Whitney Houston kept her secret, and that's why, like they said, prior to her. But I think that they was, in my opinion, I'm gonna give you my opinion about Robyn and Whitney. I do think that Robyn Crawford and Whitney did mess around like behind closed doors, which that led to the industry to know what was going on. Because if she cut her off in her '80s when she signed the contract with Clyde Davis, that meant that you would never hear about her again. But you saw her at the funeral, or at the wedding, okay, well, by Brown. You saw her, and so she was seeing her here and there, but it was like hush, hush. And then people work with me who was messy, go back and tell what was going on. Let's be real, okay? So the only information I did not know was about the bodyguard. Um, the movie Bodyguard came out, and that's when Whitney Houston's former bodyguard or former worker was trying to extort her to reveal detail about Robyn, Robyn and her relationship. That's what I heard, that the daddy, he came out and tried to silence them. Okay, the person with common agreement. So I don't know. Okay, but I do agree that Sissy probably knew, and John probably knew. The Houston's probably knew, and they kept it a secret. But I don't believe that. Probably believe that Sissy didn't knew about it. You know, and she did whatever she could to stop Robyn, because she didn't believe. She was giving them strong Baptist religions. You know what I'm saying? They very, and they're not no liberal Baptists. This is, so anyway. But I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and make a comment section on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening to me, and hope to speak to you soon. But what y'all think about this Robyn Crawford revealed in the book? Okay, about Whitney Houston, they live in relationship, and it doesn't change. I'm gonna always love Whitney Houston. Okay, I don't care. That's God. I just wish that people would stop playing the role of God. Okay, thank you. Anyway, have a nice day.